Hey, hey, everybody. It's DC back in the new year. Trying to start off strong. At the end of last year, I decided that I was going to do these little, reviewing the view if something came up that interests me. And today was one of those days. My little social media tech free speech cross section spidey senses went off on The View today. And what I will say from The View, it's, new year, same mess with the same persons, and people. But first and foremost, I just want to tell everybody Happy New Year. I got some exciting things to start working on with the channel, trying to explore things I can do on the channel. Not even just for me, but just to give back. So be on the lookout. I'm telling myself I'm gonna be more consistent with posting, more consistent with my reviewing the views. But we here for a, not a long time. We here for a good time. So let me jump into this. The two clips. It was one segment, but on YouTube they break it up into part one, part two, and I will have to circle back and put in the links for each clip that I'm talking about. So the topic was Meta, Facebook's parent company owned by Mark Zuckerberg's decision to. So it reads that Facebook is going to stop fact checking. But in Mark Zuckerberg's statement, which you're going to find, like when you go to the clip, the view will play his statement. He seems to say they're going to reimagine, for lack of a better words, how they do fact checking and how they control mis and disinformation on the platform. And first and foremost, a little bit outside of how the View framed it, Meta, Facebook, Twitter, all these social media companies that the federal government wants to get on about how they monitor free speech are private companies. How the Constitution works is the Constitution is a contract or covenant between how we interact with government and government entities. Private entities are not necessarily beholden to free speech for a variety of reasons. So I would tell a lot of people, when you own your business, you do not have to let anybody say what they want to say in your business. You can put them out. It's your private business. When we uphold free speech against an actor, that is because that actor is either explicitly the government, or in some way they are so intertwined or entangled with the government that they are, for all intents and purposes, acting like the government. And so we will, since you want to be so entangled with the government and behave in a manner that is an extension of the government, we will uphold you to the Constitution, because we don't want you making an end run. We don't want you, government, trying to make an end run around the Constitution by saying, oh, we're going through our third party who is actually acting in our behalf. So that happens sometimes. So Facebook, as big as they are, for as much as people use them, Facebook can do what they want on their platform. They are allowed to say, hey, everybody say whatever you want. They are allowed to say, we don't want to use these words on the platform. We don't want to use these images on the platform. And under the current system of government, they are allowed to do that. And then you have options. It used to be, oh, these companies are monopolies, so nobody has other options. Well, if you're enforcing free speech against a monopoly, free speech is not an antitrust claim. So get it together, find something else to do. But even keeping with that example, even trying to keep with that example, you do have options. You can get off Facebook. You don't have to be on Facebook. And then we started to get more social media companies. So when Truth Social came, was, for me, my primary example of telling people, oh, see, look, just like they didn't like what was going on Facebook and what have you, they started their own company. And then they got other people to go over there with them. So you have options. You may not like the options you have, but you do have options. You don't have to be on Facebook. Now, more into what The View was talking about and why I decided to come on live and, do my little rant and rave. Alyssa was trying to say, this is a real conversation. We should have a conversation about, for those people that like free speech, what free speech actually means. Free speech cannot mean that you only like speech that you agree with. And Alyssa was 100% right. If you are a proponent of free speech, we know, there's certain incitement and fighting words. We know there's certain things, but the reality of the situation is free speech is free. You have more of a right to be offended than anything. And we do have to have those hard conversations about, there are groups of people that go to certain things on Facebook, and there are other groups of people that go to other things on Facebook. And what is so wonderful about these social media companies and the algorithm they created, how you scroll through Facebook, for the most part, will determine what your experience is on Facebook. So if you are someone that wants to see only off-colored things on Facebook, the algorithm, after a while, will learn that about you and will only show you those off-color, off-beat things on Facebook. That's how that will work. Again, for better or for worse. My problem was the lack of acknowledgement of Alyssa's point. So of course, Sunny, Alyssa was saying it's more than just a fact or not a fact. When Facebook had the fact checkers, sometimes they just weren't accepting of certain people's viewpoints. They didn't want, when we had to wear masks during COVID, which is, I think, when all this came about. When we had to wear masks during COVID, there were people saying, trying to tell people what the harms of long-term mask wearing is. And certain things like that would be fact checked. Okay, maybe, yeah, but not. Because I'm sure you can find adverse long-term effects of anything, even wearing a mask. So was that really a fact to be checked, or was that something that someone did not like? Oh my goodness, I see my YouTube coach. Hi, Da Silva. Ooh, okay. I know is not a lot of people in here, but I gotta pull out my little commercial. Hold on. So guys, for anyone who is in the chat and anybody who catching this on replay, my YouTube coach, Da Silva, is in the chat. She is a content creator coach on YouTube, and she has an ebook. And you buy our ebook, Tips and Tricks to Grow a YouTube Channel Quickly. You can buy it by emailing the email address that you see on screen, and she can get you up and running. If you are someone who is looking into becoming a content creator, if you are someone who has an existing channel, but you want to grow your channel, wherever you are in the content creating journey, if you just need to learn more about it, get her ebook, email her, she'll tell you where to go from there and get started. She is a true coach. She'll walk you through it. She's great. I just had to, shout her out. Okay, let me try to get back to these people on The View that got on my nerves. Thank you. You proud of me? I'm proud of you too. Oh, that's your first time seeing the commercial? Yeah, girl, I had to. I had to do it up now. I had to make it a real thing. Okay, let me get back to these people on The View that irritated me. But those are real conversations to be had about. Yes, we can acknowledge something a fact, but there is a thin line between something could be a fact, something could be an exploration of a position, but you might not like it. So, Sunny, they know what facts is. We know what this, we know what that. Girl, life is big. It is a big old world out here. You are not the only person in the world, is what I say every time I have to come up here and get on Sunny Hostin. Your position in life is not the only position in life, and that is okay. So, of course, they kept cutting off Alyssa, got snippy with Sarah. Whoopi really didn't want to hear it too. But shout out to Whoopi, because Whoopi did flat out say, when we call people racist names, that's the stuff that we're talking about, which I think was more of a valid conversation than anything, because there are certain things that people say that we all can agree, for the most part, that we don't want to hear. However, I still kind of come back to a little bit that these social media companies have built themselves up to be a place for everybody. So again, let me backtrack a little bit. As you scroll on social media, YouTube included, Facebook included, Twitter, X now. I don't know if X still has the same algorithm, but I'm pretty sure they did, because I know he ain't reinvent no wheel, because he's more interested in being seen than being productive. Who else? Instagram. Whatever those I would call them, I consider them foundations of the social media companies, kind of the pioneers, the first ones. Their algorithm was set up in a way that as you scrolled, you see more of the content that you interact with. I think at one point, the exact algorithm was exactly, when you make a post, your post goes to 10% of people in your friends group, or your network, or however much. Depending on how many interactions that gets, depends on how much it gets pushed out to more of the people in your network. So then, based on the interactions, is based on who it gets pushed out to. So if I'm the person who's doing the interacting with it, if I interact with all cats and bunnies and hearts, over time, the algorithm shows me more of the content that I'm more apt to interact with. Why? Because that keeps me on the platform. That's how all the algorithms were set. And why I see my coach in here, she can give you a few tips about how YouTube is set up. That's just how it is. So even though we don't like certain things being on a platform, pick where you are. Actually, matter of fact, it's funny that De Silva's here. She always says, go where you are celebrated, not tolerated. There is something to be said about free will when it comes to these social media companies. Now, I know there's a thing about, kids and teens on social media. At some point, you got to control your house, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about grown folks. Interact with the things that you want to interact with on social media. And the things that you do not want to see, stop clicking on them. It at some point, it does have to be that simple. Why? Because again, Facebook is a private company. You can't tell people how to run their private company. You are a paying customer. You can make your voice heard. You can get other people together. You guys can all come together and make your voice heard and try to enact change. But ultimately, that is their company. And I tell people, try to have a little bit of a bigger mindset about it. If you had a company, if you had a private business, would you want people telling you how to run yours? Because 1-2 people don't like it. The first thing you would say to 1-2 people is, go find 1-2 somewhere else to be. So, the View today, the whole conversation devolved into basically, Alyssa summed it up. You can not only be for free speech when it's free speech you like. Either you are for freedom of speech, which it probably includes some people and some things that you do not like, or you are not for free speech. And for the people that would say to me, okay, well, then I'm not for free speech. I only like this speech, and this speech. I'd say that's dangerous, because you're not always going to be the one controlling that decision. It's easy to say, oh, I think we should only allow these things as speeches when you're in power to make that decision. You will then get mad to the person who is in power, who is not of the same mindset that you are of, and they say, oh no, let's rescind that, and we only want to hear this, this, and this. Then you're going to be mad. But you've set the precedent that that's okay. Whereas the end that I prefer, the free speech, yeah, some people might get mad, but just like I get mad, that person gets mad too. Because just like I'm saying, no, I should be free to say what I want to say, and you should be free to say what you want to say. Now we both mad. And we can't say anything about it because we both have the same freedom to be happy saying what we want to say and freedom to be mad saying what, hearing what we didn't want to hear. That's what the conversation Alyssa and Sarah were trying to get down to. But Sunny, Joy, Whoopi are so mad because the fact of the matter, this does come about because of Trump. So, we know Mark Zuckerberg went down to Mar-a-Lago, met with Trump about some things. I think he donated to the inauguration fund. I think that was a first for at least Meta. I don't know if that was a first for all social media companies. And it does seem like he is trying to, earn a little favor with the incoming administration. Would I do it? Probably not, because I believe in the Constitution and the law and having a private company and being able to do exactly what I want to do with my private company, just like Elon Musk is allowed to do with the private company that he bought. So would I do it personally? No, that's just the type of person I am. However, what he's doing is trying to find a benefit to his private company. Can I be completely mad at it? Because, hey, that's what you do. You schmooze, you get in with the who's who and you make money moves. That unfortunately is how stuff works. Nobody is coming off Meta. Nobody is coming off Instagram. Well, what else they own? I know they own Facebook, Instagram, and maybe WhatsApp. I think nobody is coming off them platforms. So again, what I would tell people, and I done went all types of left and right. I'm supposed to be stuck on these women on The View, but I done got caught up in Facebook. Basically, what I would tell people is life, and on this topic, social media can be what you make it. Stop clicking stuff that offends you so the algorithm can stop showing it to you. Click more of the things that you like so the algorithm can show you more of those things. And realize that you exist in a big world. And unfortunately, you should want everybody to have the same right as you have. You know why? Because when you start taking rights away, when you're in power, the next group that's in power might start taking rights away and you ain't gonna like it. So anyways, that was supposed to be my little quick, on reviewing The View. Again, I'm working on some things with the channel. I actually got to email my coach because I think I figured out the thing that I had mentioned a while ago. I'm going to try to be more consistent this year. I've gotten the hang of it. And as always, I will be back to review The View if they say something that I find interesting. So you guys have a great day. Happy New Year and see you on the next one. Bye.